It is Monday, January 9th, and here's your update for Moscow, Idaho, and Bryan Kohberger. Today was fairly quiet, but we did learn a lot about Bryan from a more personal standpoint. But let's get the legal stuff out of the way first. So first, his preliminary status hearing has been moved up by 2 hours. So it'll be on Thursday, the 12th, and it'll start at 8 a.m. Pacific time as opposed to the original time at 10 a.m. because of apparently a scheduling conflict. So for those of y'all who want to know what a preliminary status hearing is, basically the purpose is to discuss when and if they're going to have a preliminary hearing. Defense can choose to waive a preliminary hearing. And once you get to a preliminary hearing, assuming we have one, more info will be released at that point. Witnesses can be called, etc. We learned tonight also that the gag order was requested and filed by Bryan's legal defense team, and it was to, quote, help protect the integrity of the case. For the more personal stuff about him, some of this you might have heard, but some of it was definitely new to me, so hopefully new to you as well. At the beginning of the semester, Bryan was, exact words were gregarious and outgoing. He sat front and center and was in every class discussion, always on time. The only exception to that, and it was a notable exception because he was always so involved in class discussion, was during a class discussion about these murders. And his classmates did notice this because he was always involved in the discussions, and on this day he sat back quietly, not participating. Also, according to reports, he apparently had a very strong attitude towards women and gay people. He was apparently uncomfortable at a time about a pride flag that was displayed on the door, and I know that there have been bar owners and stuff that have come out talking about how he was to their women wait staff. And I'm sure a lot of y'all by now have seen the post when Bryan was a teenager, the ones that were really just screaming for help. So those were on Tapatalk, and they started from about 2009 when Bryan was 14 years old and went to 2012 when he was 17. And for those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to take this verbatim from the news, when he posted, it was about cruelty and dispassionate feelings towards others, victimization and wound collecting, as well as unaliving himself and virtual snow syndrome. Lastly, let's talk about who really matters in this. Both Xana and Ethan have scholarships set up in their name, and I have put links to both of those if you want to donate and check them out in the link tree in my profile. For Maddie and Kaylee, a foundation is currently in the process of getting set up in their names, but there's no other additional information out there. Once there is, it will be also in the link tree in my bio. And lastly, for those of y'all who are following this case closely, I have been posting a lot more of the little things like documents on Instagram, and then doing more case discussions because of everything I'm able to do on YouTube. Both of the names are Justin on TikTok if you want to follow, and you can get to both of those from the link in my link tree. And obviously, I would definitely appreciate the support on either of those platforms.